Hello everybody, welcome back to Miriamka's channel. I'm actually starting a new series called Backpackers Horror Stories. So this is gonna be my first episode of this series. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up and I'll do many more. Well, hopefully they're not gonna happen, but if they do happen, I'll carry on this series. So traveling around the world is basically a dream come true. But you must remember, it's not always fairy tales and stuff happens. Shit can go wrong and it can sometimes be really dangerous. And that's exactly what happened to me. Long story short, let's start from here. When I was in Cambodia, I was in a city called Phnom Penh. It was almost end of my journey, but I was going to Battambang to see one of my friends. So from Phnom Penh, I had to take a bus to Battambang. But it takes kind of a long journey, so I decided to take an overnight bus because the same day I was actually coming from Koh Rong Salom. So I had to get to Phnom Penh and then to Battambang. But they didn't have one bus, so I had to take two the same day. And one of them was at night. So at the beginning, I thought it was really cool idea to get this overnight bus, and I thought it's gonna be like super comfy, like beds, you can sleep on the bus and you arrive there basically rested. You don't have to sit there on the bus like this surrounded by people, and it's gonna be really cool. But of course that was too good to be true. I booked my ticket and here I am waiting for the bus. The bus arrives. I go into the bus and I look for my seat. Stepping into the bus, I realize that there are beds in the bus, which is so cool. Bottom bed and top beds. But the beds are doubles, so basically there is two people on each bed, which was kind of weird. So I finally found my seat and there was like a curtain across my bed. So I open my curtain and I see two ladies already sleeping on my bed. So I kind of woke them up and I was like, excuse me, this is my bed. And they basically went like this. So I was like, okay, there is an empty space, so I'm gonna go to this bed. In that bed, there was a boy. He welcomed me into his bed, like it was his bed, but it was actually my bed too. But there was nothing kind of separating us at all. The bed was really small. Like imagine I'm here and he is basically here. There's no beds where you have like a space. You're basically kind of squashed. Luckily, each person had their own pillow and their own blanket. I don't have Wi-Fi when I'm traveling, so I kind of have to depend on my phone. But sometimes when you use your phone or whatever, or you use maps, the battery dies really quickly. So luckily there was a charger right on the top of us, which was really weird. So here I am, looking for my charger in the dark, trying to put the charger in the plug kind of hole, if that makes sense, but it keeps coming out on me. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna charge it. But this boy, which is right next to me, it's so nice that he's like constantly looking at me, trying to help me out. So he took his own charger, he put it in there, and then I put my cable in it, and I was really lucky to charge my phone. Then he was asking me questions like where I'm from, where am I going, and he couldn't really speak English because when I asked him where are you from, he didn't know what to answer. So it was really weird because I told him my name, I told him where I'm from, but he couldn't answer the same questions. Anyways, my bag is always a mess. So I had my bag right at the end of my feet because there was no other space, and I had all my cables tangled up in my bag somewhere. When I was trying to find my iPod in my bag, he realized that I'm kind of struggling. I wasn't struggling, I just kind of had to untangle my things, but I didn't care about that. So he was so nice that he came around to my feet trying to help me untangle my things, even though I didn't really need help. I was fine. But I was like, oh, thank you very much, you're so nice. Anyways, jumping a little bit to the story, I didn't want to sleep there because he was right next to me. So I decided I'm gonna use my phone for a bit. And as my phone was charging, my battery was not really dying. So once I was playing on my phone, which you don't require Wi-Fi, he kept constantly looking at my phone and getting really close. So imagine I'm here and he's here like looking at what I'm doing really close to you. So I was a bit like, okay. Then I went to my pictures because sometimes when I don't have anything to do, I just go to my pictures, I delete the old ones, print screens, stuff like that. So that kind of takes my time. So again, he was really looking at me and what I'm doing, but getting really close. So his face at one point was like here, looking at my phone here, and I'm like, whoa. So I didn't want him looking anymore, so I put my phone on my chest. So that time he obviously realized that I don't want to show my phone, so he went away a little bit. Of course not went away because he's right next to me, right? About half an hour down the line and we're driving, I decided to kind of go to sleep slowly. I didn't know whether I should lay on my back, on my side, or the other side. So I started to lay on my back, and he was laying on his back too. Then I kind of moved to the side because I hate laying on my back. I have to always be on either of my sides. So of course I'm not gonna be on the side facing in, but I'm gonna be to the side facing the wall or something. I wasn't next to the wall, I was next to the curtain. So because I turned around, he turned around, so he was kind of facing my head, if that makes any sense. So basically he's here, I'm turning around, and he's facing me. I'm trying not to touch his body, even though we are really close. So I'm trying to basically put the blanket here. And you know what he did? He took the blanket and put it on top of me. And I took it off me because I was too hot. I was like, no, no thank you, right? So basically through the whole time he's trying to help me, right? But that's not the end of the story. The story goes that at one point he got really, really close to me and put his hand on my butt. He put his hand on my ass thinking that's okay. I didn't really know what to do because where and what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? Like, I had no choice. So basically what I did, again, I turned on my back. And then he turned on his back, right? And then half an hour later, I really want to sleep, I'm not comfortable, so I turned to my side again. And he put his hand on my ass again. But this time he kept going up and down my ass. So you know what? I had enough. I took his hand off and I was like, don't touch me. I didn't know what to do. I was kind of in shock and he backed away after I said no. But it was just the fact, like, how can you think that because I'm next to you and you help me, it's okay for you to touch me up? I just don't really understand it. I was so confused, I was really shocked, and I was literally like, take me out of here, but I can't because I have nowhere to go. At that point it's probably about 2 AM now, and I have another 3 hours of this bus journey. I spent the rest of my time basically hoping that he's not gonna touch me and thinking what I'm gonna do next when he touches me again. It was basically a horrible experience, and I felt like it was a sexual assault because what the fuck is going on? The moral of the story is that I will never ever take an overnight bus again, and if I do, I'll make sure there is single beds because I'm never ever gonna take a double bed with a stranger, especially a guy. So this is one of my horror stories during traveling. It was not a pleasant experience. Thank you guys for watching, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. You are